Newton's laws of motion. So first law of Newton. So our observation, a body can be at rest or it can be moving with uniform velocity. So if a body is at rest, it will continue to be at rest. अगर ये body rest में है, so it will continue to be at rest. And if a body is moving with constant velocity, let us say it is a body B and it is moving with constant velocity. So here velocity is constant. So velocity, it is a vector quantity. So it is constant in magnitude as well as it is constant in direction. So if a body is moving with constant velocity, it will continue to move with constant velocity. कब तक? Until and unless a net external force is applied. So it means to change the state of rest of a body, you need a force. Or to change the state of uniform motion. Your body is moving with uniform motion. So if you want to change this state, that means if you want to stop this body or bring it to rest, or if you want to change the velocity can be changed in magnitude or in direction, you need an external force. So how we can state this first law? This first law can be stated as, if a body is at rest, it will continue to be at rest. If a body is moving with uniform velocity, it will continue to move with uniform velocity until and unless a net external force is applied. So from Newton's first law, we can draw some conclusions. So what is the conclusion? So suppose if you came to know that the net external force on a body is 0. So net external force on a body is 0. F net. It is 0. Then what we can conclude? We can conclude that body must be at rest or the body may be moving with uniform velocity. In both the cases, acceleration of a body is 0. Right? So rest, there is no acceleration. If a body is moving with constant velocity, then also there is no acceleration. So the conclusion is acceleration of a body or a system is 0. Then vice versa. Suppose somehow you came to know that the system is at rest. So let us say there is some mass, एक mass, it is attached with a rope. Now just by looking at the system, you can say this system is at rest. Okay. So this system is at rest means its acceleration is 0. तो अगर इसका acceleration 0 है, so if acceleration of a system is 0, then what we can conclude? We can conclude that net force on a system is also 0. So in this way, we can use first law to solve many problems of mechanics. Then similarly, what is the conclusion? Another conclusion which we can draw, or we can say that Newton's first law is defining a force. Here in this first law, force is defined. That means to change the state of rest or uniform motion, a force is required. Force is nothing but a physical quantity which is required to change the state of rest or uniform motion. So this is Newton's first law. Newton's first law is also defined in terms of inertia. Inertia is nothing but resistance to change in state of rest or state of uniform motion. So first law is very simple. Now if we talk about second law. So now in first law, force is defined. Then next step what we want? We want to measure the force. So to measure the force, or second law, Newton's second law. Newton's second law states that force is directly proportional to rate of change of momentum with respect to time, and that change will takes place in the direction of force. Force is directly proportional to rate of change of momentum with respect to time, and whatever the change takes place, it takes place in the direction of force. So that is Newton's second law. So momentum, here P is a vector quantity. So it is momentum, it is defined as mass into velocity. So it is mass times velocity. So here the change in momentum means momentum can change if there is a change in mass, and also momentum can be changed if there is a change in velocity. So here for time being, let us assume that mass is constant. So we are assuming mass to be constant. Now the momentum can change if the velocity changes. Then velocity is a vector quantity. It is a vector quantity. So it has magnitude as well as direction. So now the velocity can change in magnitude and in direction. So momentum will change if the velocity changes in magnitude, or the momentum will change if the velocity changes in direction. So here we have to see that the momentum can change in different ways. So one is, if you have not assumed that mass is constant, then momentum can change in mass. Momentum can change if the mass changes. Momentum can change if the magnitude of velocity changes, or momentum can change if the direction of velocity changes. Okay. So now this is force is directly proportional to dP by dt. Then force is proportional to derivative of momentum, that is mass into velocity. We are assuming mass to be constant, then F is proportional to m dV by dt. So now this dV by dt is nothing but rate of change of velocity with respect to time. So velocity can change in magnitude. So if it changes in magnitude, we will have tangential acceleration, and this velocity can change in direction. If velocity changes in direction, then we have acceleration, that is called as centripetal acceleration. Okay, so we can write here F is proportional to m into a, and proportionality constant assuming to be 1, so then here F is equal to ma. So this is Newton's second law. Actually this is Newton's second law, and this law ultimately will give you how to measure a force. So force is nothing but mass times acceleration. Now suppose if this mass is not constant, mass is also varying. हो सकता है, मास वेरी हो सकता है. सो सपोज अगर एक टैंकर है, सो देयर इज अ टैंकर, so which is carrying water. So this is a water tanker. So now suppose if this tanker is moving with certain velocity and there is some mass, let us say m naught, and if there is a small leakage here, then what will happen? This water will be going out of the tanker. So in that case, mass of the tanker will be decreasing. So then if mass decreases, the momentum changes. So here, if you consider P to be m into v, where m is variable as well as velocity is also changing, it is assumed. So if both the variables are changing, then dp by dt, we can use product rule, m dv by dt plus v dm by dt. So this is rate of change of momentum, and this is nothing but ultimately the force. So force is equal to m dv by dt plus v dm by dt. So now here we are assuming mass to be constant, so rate of change of mass with respect to time is 0. Then we'll assume only F to be m dv by dt. This case we will discuss in center of mass topic, but right now we are assuming mass to be constant. So make sure that m is constant here, otherwise we have to change the things. Okay, so mass is constant. Now we will proceed here considering mass to be constant, and we got a formula how to measure the force. First law has defined the force. Now second law has given how to measure the force, and this force is measured in, so measurement. So SI unit is Newton. This force is measured in newtons, simply N. So that is SI unit of force is Newton, and another unit is also there, dyne. We rarely use this. So 1 Newton is 10 dynes. 1 Newton is 10 dynes. Okay, so it is also a simple law. Laws are very simple, but when it comes to application, so we need right understanding of these laws. Then we have third law, so very famous law, third law of Newton. So that is for every action there is a reaction. So every action has a reaction. So stating this law, let us say this is body A and here another body B. These two bodies are in contact. Now neglecting, or let us assume this as a system and this is a force. Some force is acting on the system. Now as per Newton's third law, if A applies a force on B, then B also applies the same amount of force on A in opposite direction. So we are calling action and this as reaction. So we should not misunderstand that literally, because action takes place first and after that you have a reaction. लेकिन यहाँ पे ऐसा नहीं होगा. Action or reaction will act simultaneously. Okay? Action. When A is applying the force on B, at the same time B is also applying the force on A. So some understanding about Newton's third law, we have to look it little bit deeper. तो अभी हम अगर इसको देखते हैं A और B, तो A B पे अगर फोर्स अप्लाई कर रहा है, चलो मान लो कि this is the force applied by A on B. Let us say this is equal to N. Then B also applies a force on A. So B is applying a force on A. in opposite direction, and both will have the same magnitude. They are in opposite direction. So action reaction pair. So in a system you have to find out the action and reaction pair. So one thing you have to keep it in mind. Action and reaction pairs will act on two different bodies. Suppose if you say this is an action, okay, so this action is acting on B, and this is a reaction, so this reaction is acting on A. So action reaction will act on two different bodies. So this is A. So on A there is a force applied by B. So force applied by B on A. Then similarly you have the force applied by A on B. एक्शन रिएक्शन पेयर जो है वो दो अलग अलग बॉडीज पे एक्ट करेंगे, ठीक है, सेम बॉडी पे एक्ट नहीं करेंगे. दैट इज द मिस्टेक which you do while solving the problems. Okay, so this is one. The second thing is action and reaction pairs, or these two forces will act simultaneously. जब A पे फोर्स एक्ट कर रहा है उसी समय B पे भी फोर्स एक्ट करेगा. Then another thing what we have to discuss here in third law. So how to choose a system, because now this F is external force. Somebody has applied a force on this system, and these forces, whether they are external or internal, it depends on how you consider a system. Okay, so considering a system is very important. So now we'll see how to consider a system so that we'll understand whether it is an external force or an internal force, because first law is talking about an external force. Okay, until and unless an external force is applied. So let us assume two bodies. So this is body A, there is another body B. Both these bodies are in contact with each other. Now there is another force here acting on A. So F is acting on A. Now let us say, if you assume A and B as a system, A and B as a system, okay. So now A is applying a force on B. Let us say this is N. Then there is another force simultaneously acting according to Newton's third law, N. Now when both the bodies are in a system, then this N are internal forces, and always internal forces will cancel out. Since this force is coming out of the system, so this is the system which we have considered. Now this force is coming from outside of the system, so this is an external force. Now suppose if I take A as a system, we have body A and B, but now I am considering only A as a system. So if this A is a system, then this is an external force, because this F is applied by an external agency. ठीक है, तो ये बाहर से आ रहा है, so this is external force. Then now B is not in the system. B is not in the system. So B is applying a force N on A. So this is also an external force. When A and B we have considered as a system, then these forces were internal. They will cancel out because they are equal and they are acting in opposite direction. So similarly here, if you consider only A as a system, then this is external, this is also external, because this force is applied by B, which is outside the system. Then if I take only B as a system, only B as a system, then A is outside the system and A is applying some force on B. So this force is coming from an external agency, A. Okay. So now it is very simple how to identify external and internal force. So we deal with only external forces in Newton's laws of motion, and whether a force is external or internal, it depends on choosing a system. Okay, आप सिस्टम जैसा लेंगे उसके हिसाब से फोर्स एक्सटर्नल या इंटरनल होगा. अगर ए और बी आप एक सिस्टम में लेते हैं तो F जो है इस सिस्टम पे एक्सटर्नल फोर्स है. अगर आप ओनली ए, यू आर टेकिंग ओनली ए एज ए सिस्टम, देन द फोर्स विच वाज इंटरनल, now this has become external force. So it is very simple. Now you have a classroom. Suppose it is a classroom. This is a classroom, and you have some students in this classroom. Student 1, I'll draw this diagram a little bit bigger. We have students here in this classroom. So student 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 students in this classroom. Okay. Now if this classroom, this is a classroom. If this classroom you are assumed as a system, so this whole classroom is a system, and now the students, suppose the student applies a force on student 2, or student 2 applies a force on student 3 or 1. So these are all internal forces. These are internal interactions. We have assumed this whole classroom as a system. So they are interacting here. So they are internal forces. Okay. So they are internal forces. Now suppose if I consider only one as a system. So now 1 is the system. If 1 is the system, if 2 applies a force on 1, or 3 applies a force on 1, 4 applies a force on 1, this force becomes external force. So it is very simple. If the particles or the bodies within the system are applying the forces, then those forces are internal. If a body which is outside the system, and if it is applying a force, then it becomes external force. Okay. Yes. So these Newton's laws are simple by definition. So now let us try to understand these laws by different examples. So to solve Newton's laws problems, we have a concept of free body diagram. Before this free body diagram, we'll see interactions between the bodies. Let us say there are 2 bodies, M1 and M2. And distance between these 2 bodies is r. Now these 2 bodies will interact with each other due to a property of mass. So that is also called as universal law of gravitation. So force between these 2 bodies will be equal to Gm1 m2 by r square. Universal law of gravitation. Now these 2 bodies are not in contact, but still there is an interaction. So such type of interactive forces are called as non-contact force. So So gravitational force is a non-contact force. Similarly, you can have charges. So this is charge q1, this is charge q2, and these two charges are separated by a distance of r. Then force of attraction or repulsion between these two charges will be equal to k q1 q2 by r square, where k is a constant. Now again these two charges are not in contact, but still there is an interaction between these charges. So the interaction is non-contact in nature. So this force is also a non-contact force. So this force is also called as electrostatic force, and this is Coulomb's law. So we will discuss this in electrostatics. So now here what you have to understand, even if the bodies are not in contact, still there may be a force acting between them. So such forces we are calling it as non-contact forces. Then another type of interaction can be due to a contact. Suppose there are two bodies, body A and body B. Now let us say these two bodies are in contact. So due to contact there will be a force. If there is a contact, then definitely there will be a force. Okay. So this force is arising due to a contact. So this force we are calling it as a contact force. And the nature of this force is electromagnetic. Nature of contact force. Electromagnetic nature. So this is electromagnetic in nature. You can take another example. Suppose this is mass m, and this mass m is resting on a surface of an earth. Okay. So then this surface will apply a force on this mass, and this mass also applies a force on surface. So that will be action and reaction pair, and this action and reaction pair here it is due to the contact between these two surfaces. So ये दो surface के बीच में contact है. Okay. So we'll see now here what is important. Force is a vector quantity. That is one of the more important thing which we have to consider here. So if you are able to find out the magnitude, you should also be able to find out the direction of the force. Force का direction निकालना बहुत जरूरी है. तो अभी इसका direction कैसे होगा? We have taken here the direction in this way. Here the direction may be different. So it depends on the contact surfaces, the direction of contact force. So finding magnitude and finding direction, both the things are very important. So here, suppose if you take this mass m, which is resting on some surface. So now identifying the forces. So this is the mass m. So then there should be a gravitational property, there should be a gravitational force. Now this mass is resting on Earth's surface, and here every mass will be pulled by the Earth. So there is one force acting on this body, that is mg. And since this mass is in contact with the surface, so surface must apply a force on this mass m, that is n. And this normal reaction will act, this contact force will act perpendicular to the surface or normal to the surface. So this will act perpendicular to the surface. So it is in this direction. So this is the case when we have considered this mass as a system, because this n is applied by the surface, and now we have not considered surface in the system. Okay. So similarly, free body diagram, when you draw free body diagram, so concept of free body diagram is if a mass is resting on a surface, if this mass is resting on this surface, in free body diagram, if you consider M as a system, then we'll show all the forces acting on this mass M. Okay. So now, or in other way, we can say that we'll show all the forces which are acting on mass M in such a way that the state of this system does not change. The state should not change. So it is nothing but, suppose if I free this mass from all the contacts, mass M is freed from all the contacts. So actually this surface is giving this mass some support. Okay, so it is giving some support. Now when you free this mass from all the contacts, the state of the mass should not change. So actually this mass is at rest. If I remove this surface, the mass will fall down, but this mass should not fall. So in that way we will show the forces. So one is non-contact force. Always look for non-contact forces. So it is the force applied by the gravity of Earth, that is equal to m into g. And now there is another force acting from this direction. So that is a normal force. So this surface is applying a force on this body and it is perpendicular to the surface. So this is a normal force. So because of this force, this body is at rest. Okay. So now if you apply Newton's law, we know that this body is at rest. Okay. So acceleration of the body is 0. It means the net force on this body should be 0. So N, if I take upward direction as positive, N minus mg. Force is a vector quantity. So directions are important. So this is the net force or the total force acting on the system, that must be equal to 0. Because m into a, acceleration is 0. So N must be equal to mg. The magnitude of N is how much? It is equal to mg. Okay. So magnitude of N is equal to mg. So we have found the magnitude of this contact force. Okay. And also we have found the direction. Contact forces will always act perpendicular to the surface when we are assuming frictionless surface. That is very important. Now here there is no friction. Sure, let us take a simple problem. First law, second law, third law, combination of all these laws will be solving different types of problems. So in the problem itself, we'll use free body diagrams. Mass m, let us assume 2 kg और दूसरा मास है 3 kg और इस सिस्टम पे एक्सटर्नल फोर्स, let us assume external force to be 15 newtons. Okay, so now I have to find out the interaction between these two masses or the contact force between these two masses. Okay, so to find out the contact force between these two masses, we will take free body diagram here. So now if this system, here in all the problems we are assuming frictionless surfaces. Assume frictionless surface. Okay, surfaces are frictionless. Here if I draw free body diagram for 2 kg block, it's 2 kg. Now the system which we have taken is 2 kg. So whatever the force 3 kg applies, it's an external force, and we'll show all the forces acting on this 2 kg mass. So one is 15 Newton, which is external. Then 3 kg is applying a force on 2 kg, and that should be in this direction. So this contact force will always try to push the block. Okay. Now suppose if these two surfaces are in contact, then this hand will try to push this hand in this direction, and this hand will try to push in this direction. So both these forces will be pushing each other. They cannot pull. If they pull, contact is lost. So they have to push. So we'll show this contact force in such a way that it is pushing a block. So 3 kg should push this block. Okay. So it is acting in this direction. Now this system will accelerate because there is no friction. When you apply an external force, system will accelerate. We'll assume the acceleration to be A. There is no motion along y direction. So in this case, we are neglecting y direction. We are assuming only x direction here. Or if you want, you can also draw a free body diagram for y direction. So y direction 2 kg. So there is a contact force mg. Contact force mg. So m into g. So let us assume g to be 10 meter per second square. So it will be 20, and this body 2 kg is in contact with the surface. So contact will apply a force. So contact will apply a force in this direction. So let us say this force has some N2. In y direction there is no motion. In x direction there will be a motion. So if you apply Newton's law, here take positive direction in the direction of acceleration. Okay, so 15 minus n, n is in opposite direction, so 2 into a. This is equation 1. There are two unknowns. N is unknown, acceleration is unknown, so we have to find out another equation so that it can be solved. So now let us take 3 kg. We are not considering y direction because in y direction there is no motion. Okay, so let us not discuss y direction now. We will discuss only x direction. Let us take 3 kg block. Now on 3 kg block, we have taken 3 kg as a system. Now when you take 3 kg as a system, 3 was applying a force on 2, so 2 also applies a force on 3, Newton's third law. And that force should be same amount, magnitude should be same, opposite direction, or this force should be pushing a body. So it should push 3 kg. So N. This N is applied by 2. 2 is external to this system. And acceleration in the same direction. So here the net force is N. And take acceleration direction as positive. So N is equal to 2 into A. Sorry. N is equal to mass into acceleration. 3 into A. Okay. Now we got two equations. We can solve these equations. 15 minus 3A is 2A. So we have 15 is equal to 5A. Then A will be equal to 3 meter per second square. This is very simple. So we got an acceleration. Okay, once you get an acceleration, you can find out the interactive force. So to find the interactive force or to find this contact force between these two blocks, you have to consider any one block as the system. If you consider both the blocks as a system, then this force is internal. You will not be able to find out this force. To find this force, consider the system in such a way that that force becomes external. तो ये external होना चाहिए, यहाँ पे external force हुआ. So ये block लो या ये block लो, you take any block. So if I take 3 kg block, N is equal to 3A. So 3 into 3. So that is 9 Newton. So 9 Newton of force is acting on 3 kg. Then same here on 2 kg block, the contact force is 9 Newton. Okay? Yes. So now let us move forward. So here we have considered the free body diagram and found out some equations and solved those. We got the force of interaction. Now it all depends on how you assume a system or how you consider a system. Okay, so here we have considered 2 kg as different system, 3 kg as different system, but it also allows us to take 2 kg and 3 kg as a system. Okay, so when we can consider these two blocks as one system, it is very important. So now suppose if I consider translation, this is a big block. Okay, so let us assume some length. So this is 1 meter block. Its length is 1 meter. Okay, and this end is point A, or we'll take it as different notation. This is point P, and here you have point Q. This is point P, this is point Q, and this is accelerating with acceleration A. Okay, now this whole body is a system. It is of 1 meter length. Now when it is accelerating, so here acceleration of point P should be A, and acceleration of point Q is also A, because the length of this block is not changing. Okay, so here if this is a system, then every particle of the system should be accelerating with same acceleration. If you take any other intermediate point, let us say R, and this point will also have an acceleration A, means this is also accelerating with acceleration A. So whenever a body is accelerating with some acceleration, every point on that body should accelerate with same acceleration. Now if I assume this marker as an system, then when this marker accelerates, whatever the acceleration of this point, the same acceleration this point also will have. Okay, this point is also accelerating with same acceleration. So if these two blocks are different, but both the blocks will accelerate with same acceleration. Okay, so when they move, whatever the displacement this block makes, the same displacement will be for 2 kg block. Means both the blocks will displace by same amount in same time, same velocity in that given instant, and same acceleration for both the blocks. So what? I can assume both the blocks as one system. Both the blocks as one system. We can assume both the blocks as one system when these two blocks have same acceleration. Okay, so let us say this system is accelerating with acceleration A. Then 15 is the net force. Whatever the interactive forces are there, they are internal forces. So 15 is equal to mass of the system. Mass of the system is 2 plus 3, 5 into acceleration. So acceleration is 3 meter per second square. Now once you get an acceleration, you can find out the interactive force between these two blocks. To find out the interactive force between these blocks, you take any of the block as a system. So I will take 3 kg as a system. Now this is 3 kg, This is accelerating with acceleration 3 meter per second square, and there is a force acting on this 3 kg block. So this force is applied by 2 kg. So N must be equal to, this is only the external force on 3 kg. N must be equal to 3 into 3. So that is 9 newtons. Okay. Now if you see here, there is a transmission of forces. In free body diagram, we will show only the forces acting on a body. Okay. So here if I take 2 kg, so it's 2 kg पे 15 न्यूटन फोर्स लग रहा है, 15 न्यूटन। और यहाँ पे हम ये 15 न्यूटन 3 kg पे नहीं दिखा रहे, but we know that this force or some part of the force will be acting on 3 kg also. But here we are not showing that force on 3 kg. We are showing the force in terms of interactions, because there will be a transmission of force from one body to another body in terms of this interactive forces. So that is, if you see here, the net force acting on a 2 kg body is, acceleration is 3 meter per second square. So there is another force acting here, 9 Newton. So if you see, the net force acting on 2 kg is 2 into 3. Net force is given by m into a, that is 6 Newton. Actually, how much force is applied on 2 kg? 15 Newton force is applied on 2 kg, but not all the force is acting here. If you see the net force acting is only 6 Newton. Out of 15 Newton which you applied, only 6 Newton is acting on 2 kg net. And the remaining 9 Newtons out of 15, 9 Newtons is transmitted to 3 kg block in terms of this interactive forces. So in this way, the forces are transmitted from one block to another block in terms of interactions. Right? Yes. We'll take another example. So normal force should be shown as a push. So let us assume one block of some 5 kg, another block 3 kg, and another block 2 kg. So here we have 3 blocks, and let us apply 40 Newton force. A 40 Newton force is applied on this system. Okay. So here we will discuss all the things which are seen in Newton's laws, or whatever earlier we have discussed. One is first law of Newton. If there is an acceleration, there must be a net force. How to measure a force, and how to choose a system, and free body diagrams, and how the forces are getting transferred from one object to another object. So here you can solve this by taking each block as a system. So first of all, what we have to find out? We have to find out here the interaction between 5 kg and 3 kg, and the interaction between 3 kg and 2 kg. So now to find out the interactive forces, actually these forces will be internal to the system if you take whole system, all 3 blocks as a system. So first, you can also take 3 blocks as a system. So first of all, we'll solve this body, we'll solve this problem by considering each block as a system. So if I take 5 kg as a system, then 40 newtons is applied, and we know that the system will accelerate in this direction. So direction of acceleration will take it as positive, because only you have to see left hand side about positives and negatives. Right hand side A will always be negative if you assume A as positive. Then 5 kg in contact with 3 kg. So 3 kg will apply a force on 5 kg block. So this force is N1 and this force will be pushing 5 kg and it is perpendicular to the surface. This is the surface. So 40 minus N1 should be equal to 5 into A, equation 1. Then another equation. Here we have different unknowns. Then similarly, if you take 3 kg, 3 kg is in contact with 5 kg and 2 kg. So here N1, this force is same, N1, and here N1, action, reaction. 3 kg is also in contact with 2 kg. So 2 kg will apply a force, let us assume that is N2. This is the force applied by 2 kg block. 3 kg in contact with 5 as well as 2. So 2 interactions. And this is accelerating in this direction. So acceleration A. The net force, take the direction of acceleration as positive. N1 minus N2 should be mass into acceleration. Mass into acceleration. Then similarly we will take 2 kg block. 2 kg. Now 2 kg is contact with 3 kg. We are considering the forces only along x direction. If you want to find out any interaction from the ground, take y axis. Because forces are vector quantities, you can solve them separately along x and along y. So 2 kg. 2 kg has applied a force on 3 kg, N2. So 3 kg also applies the same amount of force on 2 kg. So that is N2. Now this N2 equation, net force on 2 kg and acceleration is in the same direction, A. So N2 is equal to 2 times A, mass into acceleration. So if you solve these 3 equations, you will get some value of acceleration. So let us put second equation, N1 minus N2 is 2A, that is 3A. So we got N1, N1 is 5A, and let us put this in equation 1. So 40 minus 5A is equal to 5A. So 10A is 40, so acceleration is 4 meter per second square. So we have acceleration 4 meter per second square. So from this acceleration you can find out all the forces. Now second thing, we can assume all the blocks as one system because the acceleration of all the blocks will be same. It's a common sense. If you apply a force, all the blocks will accelerate with same acceleration. So if I assume 3 blocks as a system and acceleration as A, then 40 Newton will be an external force. Whatever the forces 5 kg is applying on 3, 3 kg applying on 2, 2 kg applying on 3, 3 kg applying on 5, all these are internal forces. So net force on this system is 40. 40 is the net force and total mass of the system is 10 kg. So 10 into A. So acceleration is 4 meter per second square. Okay. So now once you get acceleration, you can find out the interactive forces by, suppose if you want to find out interaction between 5 and 3, take 3 kg or 5 kg as a system. Here also you will get N2, here also, here 5 kg if you take, you will get interactive force from this equation. If you take 3 kg, the force is there, you can take 3 kg as a system. But what will happen? Then you should know N2. Then again you have to find out the interaction between 2 and 3. So choose a system smartly. So if I take 5 kg, I will get N1. Then if I want to find out N2, then instead of taking 3 kg, I will take 2 kg. So if I take 2 kg, If I take 3 kg, I have to find out m1. Okay, so I'll take simply 2 kg, so I can find out n2. So here, if you want to find out n2, I'll take 2 kg. So in that way, you can find out any interaction. So now, from this example or from earlier example, what we have understood, first of all, always you should find out acceleration of the system. Once you find out the acceleration, okay, then you will be able to find out any interactive force between the blocks. So, thank you. More examples we'll see on application of Newton's laws of motion in next lecture.